say it's the Son of God. He's preaching and he's teaching, and you don't believe. And he's here today, being preached by Baptist churches.
Like J.M.W. Turner and his notebooks, Ross's work reawakens you to things that can be taken for granted, like the ever-changing wonder of a sunlit, cloud-filled sky.
We're driving across Arizona and you can already see just how the sky dominates these incredible, beautiful skies here. The further you go, the more the sky takes over. It really is a celestial journey.
But I wasn't in Arizona just to admire the sky. Somewhere ahead lay the painted desert, an amazing geological wonderland of ancient volcanoes that lived and died hundreds of thousands of years ago. And on the edge of the desert is Roden Crater, an extinct volcano that over the course of more than 30 years has been transformed into a monumental piece of light art by the artist James Turrell.
This is a bit of a pilgrimage. You don't get to Roden Crater, just by getting on a bus. It's a lifetime's project. In fact, he says it's like writing the great American novel, and it's still unfinished. And yet, in pursuit of his goal, he still managed to write a series of short stories, he calls them. His experiments, his sky spaces round the country, round the world.
You're about to see something that you've never seen before. Are you ready? Here we go.
In Los Angeles, in a private garden high up in the Hollywood Hills, multimillionaire James Goldstein has recently commissioned his very own Turrell sky space.
Here we are in the James Turrell sky space.
It certainly beats an ornamental fountain as a talking point for his guests.
We're a few minutes early, but stick around and you'll see something quite amazing.
Turrell's sky spaces are beautiful and baffling. The eye loses its bearings, trying to balance the light as it changes inside and out.
People are absolutely blown away. Almost everyone that sees it, they're confused, they're not sure what they're looking at, but at the end of the show, everyone starts clapping. It's hard to believe that we're looking at the sky and there's nothing in between us, and our eyes are doing things that we didn't think was possible, but that's what's going on. Right now, as the color is changing, the room has a very misty, ephemeral feel to it. And for me, that's the most exciting moment of the show, is the color change. Now we're getting into the intense part of the show. I see a turquoise interior and sort of a salmon pink sky. Now we have purple and bronze, and quickly it's changing to khaki green. It will eventually get too dark for the colors to appear, it will become a solid black. And that's when I know that the show is over. As long as you can see the purple color in the sky, there's still more to see. But I think we only have a few more minutes. No, I haven't seen the crater yet. And I'm almost afraid to see the crater because I might not like it here as much anymore after I've seen the crater. But I'm sure that one of these days I'll make it down there. Now the show is over.
For me, the show was just beginning. I was on my way to Roden Crater, and driving me was James Turrell himself.
So is this whole region volcanic?
Everything you see.
Everything you see.
There are over 400 volcanoes here. And this is where the dinosaurs were holding sway for
Some artists are like narrow beams of light, precise and focused. James Turrell is like the sun, expansive and all-embracing. In the hour or so it took us to get to Roden Crater, we touched on aeronautics, biology, Native American history, geology, meteorology, volcanology, astronomy, the price of real estate, the nature of perception, and how many acres you need to raise one black Angus steer.
80 acres per one cow. You have...
Turrell has had to master all of these disciplines, up to and including running a 50,000-acre cattle ranch in his lifelong pursuit of light, which all began as a child when he pierced the curtains in his bedroom to recreate the star patterns that he'd seen in the night sky.
And this all began when you were a child. This interest, this passion for light.
Oh yes, every child has that. Some grow out of it.
You grew into it.
Some of us just stay there where in the same place where we were born. I was fascinated with light, and I mean, we drink light as vitamin D to the skin. We photosynthesize light into vitamin D. So we're light eaters. It's part of our diet.
He began working seriously with light in the 1960s. He projected it in studios and galleries to create triangles and rectangles that appeared to be solid and three-dimensional until you tried to touch them. He also pioneered his signature piece, the sky space. Today, there are around 50 sky spaces in private and public hands. From Japan to Scotland, each of them a unique meditation on the sky in that particular place. It was in the early 70s that Turrell went looking for what would become his life's work, an extinct volcano with which he could explore on a massive scale some of the perceptual effects that he'd discovered in his studio work.
I needed something about 600 feet above the ground, the surrounding terrain, to get this quality of it looks like the Earth tilts the wrong way, like everything underneath you goes up to the horizon. You experience that when you fly planes, the sort of reversed curve.